Welcome to Rustica Studio. Imagine stepping out your back door and being wrapped in a quiet chorus of green. Leaves whispering, branches sketching gentle shade, and layered plantings that make the yard feel like a series of welcoming rooms. And in the next few minutes you'll gather practical, beautiful ideas to design a garden where trees are the backbone, shrubs and perennials knit the middle, and ground covers and bulbs write the small seasonal details. The benefit is immediate and lasting. Thoughtful planting with trees at its center cools and shelters your home, supports wildlife, and gives you a living landscape that changes with the day and the year, becoming a place to rest, play, and belong. Begin with the idea of structure and anchoring. Imagine placing a few well-chosen trees to form the skeleton of your landscape. Picture a generous old maple or a native oak at one corner, its limbs spreading to offer cooling shade on summer afternoons, and a mosaic of light and shadow across the lawn. Visualize a smaller specimen, perhaps a serviceberry or a Japanese maple, near a seating nook, its spring flowers and compact form providing both scent and intimate scale. Think of situating an evergreen, like a native pine or a well-placed holly, so you have vertical interest in winter and a reliable screen for privacy. The image is of rooms created by canopies. The larger trees define the living room of the yard, mid-sized trees crown a dining area, and evergreens frame views or mask utility areas. The benefit of this structural approach is multifold. Mature trees reduce energy bills by shading the house, they sequester carbon and support bird life, and they create a spatial order that makes even a modest yard feel generous and coherent. Let your mind move downward to the understory layer where shrubs build privacy, bloom, and texture. Picture groups of deciduous shrubs, viburnum, lilac, witch hazel, planted in curving beds that echo the lines of your lawn and paths. Envision evergreen hedges, boxwood yew, or native holly, used sparingly to anchor entrances or to form a low garden room wall. Imagine massing flowering shrubs so color arrives in waves. Early spring with forsythia or witch hazel, late spring with lilac and rhododendron, summer with hydrangea and rose of Sharon, and fall with beautyberries and viburnum fruit. The image reads as a slow choreography of color and form. The benefit is layered privacy and year-round interest. Shrubs create edges for circulation, habitats for insects and birds, and texture that carries the eye when trees are bare. From there, see the middle layer come alive. Perennials and ornamental grasses that bring movement, scent, and seasonal variety. Picture sweeping drifts of Russian sage, catmint, salvia, and lavender near a sun-drenched patio, their spikes of blue and purple humming with bees. Visualize tall summer perennials like coneflowers and rudbeckia providing structure and late-season nectar for pollinators, while sedums and asters take up the mantle in late summer and autumn with warm tones and seed heads that support winter birds. Include ornamental grasses, little bluestem, miscanthus, and carex, to add a soft rustle, verticality, and silhouette as light shifts. The image is sensory. The scent of lavender, the tactile softness of grass plumes, and the hum of pollinators weaving through flower spikes. The benefit is biodiversity and seasonal succession. A well-composed middle layer provides continuous resources for wildlife and keeps the garden visually compelling across months. Let the scene drop to the ground plane where ground covers, bulbs, and low-growing perennials knit paths and beds together. Picture carpets of creeping thyme and ajaga between stepping stones, their tiny flowers released with each footfall. Visualize masses of spring bulbs, tulips, daffodils, crocus, naturalized beneath trees and along borders, so that early color arrives before canopy leaf out. Imagine a fringe of low sedums and creeping phlox at the edge of a path, their textures contrasting with the upright forms of taller plants. The image is intimate and detailed. Small things that reward bending down and close observation. The benefit is reduced maintenance, soil protection, and continuous blooming. Ground covers limit weeds, hold moisture, and ensure that there is always some color or texture near the ground. Now picture the flow of movement through the garden. Paths that invite wandering, not merely transit. Envision a main path paved with reclaimed bricks or bluestone, its edges softened by plantings, leading from the doorstep to a seating area beneath a tree. Branching off, narrower stepping stone paths meander through pollinator beds and edible patches, occasionally revealing a tucked bench, a potting area, or a sculpture. Imagine curves rather than straight lines. A slight bend conceals what's ahead, encouraging you to slow your pace and savor the approach. The image is of discovery. Each turn offers a new tableau. The benefit is psychological and functional. Meandering routes encourage lingering, increase the perceived size of the garden, and create microclimates where different plants can thrive. Consider places for water and wildlife to drink and bathe. Picture a shallow bird bath set on a pedestal amid a shrub border, edged with low sedges and ferns, reflecting the sky and inviting finches, sparrows, and hummingbirds. Alternatively, imagine a modest pond or bubbler tucked into a shaded corner, lined with native plants, iris, marsh marigold, and rushes, that filter water and provide habitat. Even a recycled galvanized tub sunk slightly into the earth makes a magnet for life. The image brings a reflective surface into the green room. The benefit is ecological. Water sources increase biodiversity, support amphibians and birds, and create gentle soundscapes that calm the ear and draw people to sit and watch. Think about edible elements woven throughout the design. Visualize a sequence of fruit trees, apple, pear, plum, trained along a sunny fence, their spring blossoms and autumn harvests offering both beauty and food. Picture a layered edible border that mixes perennial herbs, rosemary, thyme, oregano, with vegetables and berries, so a trip outside to gather dinner is short and sensory. Imagine strawberries tucked into sunny edge beds and raspberries trained on a trellis at the garden edge, where they receive afternoon sun and a breeze. The image is productive and pleasant. The benefit is resilience and joy. Edible plantings reduce grocery runs, connect you to seasons, and provide abundant flavor and fragrance close to the kitchen door. Incorporate vertical elements and structures for both beauty and function. Envision arbors and pergolas draped in clematis or climbing roses, creating shaded thresholds between garden rooms. Picture trellises supporting climbing beans and cucumbers in a productive patch, and an espaliered fruit tree along a sunlit wall that becomes living architecture. Include a simple fence or screen planted with fragrant honeysuckle or jasmine to create privacy and scent. The image is layered upward. Living walls and canopies that increase planting area without expanding footprint. The benefit is spatial richness. Vertical planting increases yield, provides additional habitats, and gives the garden drama and intimacy. Lighting completes the scene so the garden is hospitable by night as well as day. Imagine low-voltage uplights washing the trunks of specimen trees, soft pathway lighting that leads to the porch, and warm string lights draped over a dining pergola. Lanterns and candles at table level create small, intimate pools of light while preserving darker corners for moths and nocturnal creatures. The image at twilight is magical. Silhouettes, pools of amber light, and reflective leaves dappled by moonlight. The benefit is usability and safety. Careful lighting extends the hours you can enjoy the space without overwhelming wildlife or erasing the sense of night. about materials and how they make the place feel authentic. Picture paths and patios of reclaimed brick, broken flagstone, or compacted gravel that age gracefully and offer good drainage. Visualize timber used for raised beds and benches, reclaimed where possible, so that texture and patina tell a story. Use simple, durable metals for edges, railings, and planters that will patinate over years rather than requiring replacement. The image is of materials that belong in the ground as much as plants do. The benefit is sustainability and longevity. Choosing honest materials reduces long-term costs and ensures the garden will look more beautiful as it matures. Garden furniture and gathering spaces should feel comfortable and resilient. Imagine a dining table made from reclaimed wood, surrounded by mixed chairs and a bench, with cushions and weatherproof fabrics that echo the planting colors. Picture a hammock strung between two trees for quiet reading, and a small nook with a pair of comfortable chairs for morning coffee. Add a cart for potted herbs and a potting bench near the kitchen door to make garden tasks easy. The image is of an outdoor home, places to eat, rest, and work. The benefit is livability. Well-placed furniture turns the garden into an extension of your interior life, increasing time spent outside and improving well-being. Plan for seasons so the garden offers interest year-round. Visualize bulbs that flash in late winter and early spring, deciduous trees that leaf out and create summer shade, shrubs that bloom in different seasons, and autumn color from maples, viburnum, and ornamental grasses that persist into winter with interesting seed heads. Add evergreens and winter berries to maintain structure and color when snow falls. The image is cyclical. The garden evolves with a predictable rhythm. The benefit is engagement. A garden that offers something every season keeps you connected to the passage of time and encourages ongoing care and delight. Include low-maintenance design strategies that conserve time and resources. Picture mulch beds that suppress weeds, drip irrigation laid beneath mulch to deliver water directly to roots, and grouping plants by water needs so a single irrigation zone is effective. Choose hardy natives and well-adapted cultivars that require less feeding and resist pests. Incorporate a compost area near vegetable beds so kitchen scraps return to the soil. The image is practical. Systems working quietly beneath the surface. The benefit is efficiency. Good design reduces work, saves water, and builds long-term soil health so the garden matures into a self-sustaining landscape. Think about edges and transitions where lawn meets bed and patio meets planting. Visualize crisp, rolled edges of lawn softened by a ribbon of low-flowering plants, sedum, thyme, or dwarf iris, that spill slightly over the grass and invite foot traffic to slow. Picture a sloped edge down to a rain garden where runoff collects and native sedges and rushes filter water. The image is one of soft hard lines. The benefit is ecological function and beauty. Well-designed edges reduce mowing, aid drainage, and create beautiful thresholds that feel intentional. Plant choices should consider pollinators and wildlife at every scale. Picture nectar-rich plantings, bee balm, lavender, asters. Planted in large drifts rather than isolated spikes so pollinators can work efficiently. Imagine night-blooming species like Nicotiana near seeding areas to invite moths and add fragrance at dusk. Reserve small piles of brush or a log edge to provide habitat for beneficial insects and small reptiles. The image is a working landscape that supports life. The benefit is ecological resilience. Diverse plantings stabilize pest populations, promote soil microbes, and create a resilient web of interactions that helps plants thrive. Add personal and artistic touches to make the garden uniquely yours. Visualize a painted gate, a handmade mosaic stepping stone, or a simple sculpture tucked among ferns to provide focal surprises. Consider a small kitchen front herb spiral, or a raised bed shaped like a smile to bring whimsy into daily routines. Plant a tree on birthdays or anniversaries to create living markers of time. The image is personal and storied. The benefit is meaning. Gardens that carry human stories are places people protect, tend, and remember. Plan for accessibility and long-term care, so the garden remains usable as seasons and life stages change. Envision wide, firm paths that accommodate carts and wheelbarrows and raised beds at a comfortable height for older hands. Include seating at intervals and low step edges to limit bending where possible. Keep a tool storage area close to work zones with easy access, and establish a simple seasonal checklist: pruning, mulching, dividing perennials, so care never becomes overwhelming. The image is of a garden built to last. The benefit is inclusivity and longevity. Accessible design ensures the garden can be enjoyed and maintained by all who live in it. Consider how scent and sound contribute to the sense of place. Picture a narrow bed of scented plants, lilac, lavender, rosemary, lining a path, releasing fragrance as you pass. Imagine wind playing through bamboo or ornamental grasses to create a soft shushing sound, and a small water feature adding the low, repetitive sound of moving water that masks distant traffic. Plant rustling, bird calls, and fragrant passages make the garden a full-bodied experience. The image is immersive. The benefit is well-being. Scent and sound reduce stress, anchor you in the present, and make the garden more restorative. Build soil and ecosystem health deliberately. Visualize thick layers of compost worked into beds each season. Cover crops sown in fallow plots to rebuild nitrogen and organic matter. And mycorrhizal-friendly practices like minimizing deep cultivation to preserve fungal networks. Plant diversity, trees, shrubs, perennials, bulbs, and native ground covers, creates varied root structures that stabilize soil and encourage beneficial microbes. The image is of hidden life beneath your feet. The benefit is productivity and resilience. Rich soil supports vigorous plants less prone to disease and reduces the need for chemical inputs. for children and play without sacrificing beauty. Imagine a grassy swale that doubles as a place to run and as a rain-catching feature. A raised bed that children can tend with their own small tools, and a shady corner with a sand table or a small fort built into shrub edges. Use natural materials, logs, stepping stones, willow hurdles, to spark imaginative play and to teach young hands about plants. The image is playful and integrated. The benefit is education and joy. Gardens that welcome play teach stewardship and create lasting memories. Finally, cultivate a slow relationship to your garden. View it as an ongoing conversation rather than a one-time project. Imagine seasonal walks with a notebook to record what worked and what didn't, a photo log to chart changes over the years, and small experiments, moving a perennial here, adding a different grass there. To learn the microclimates of your site, celebrate small successes. The first fruit, a native bee that finds your lavender, the way a bed looks in afternoon light. The image is of patience and attention. The benefit is deep satisfaction. Gardens repay time spent with a compounding beauty that evolves with you and your family. As twilight gathers, dim the path lights and let the trees take over the sky. Step into a chair beneath the canopy, close your eyes, and notice the layered sounds. The distant hum of the neighborhood, the soft chorus of leaves, the occasional call of a night bird, while the garden holds its breath between day and night. The scene you've built with thoughtful trees, layered plantings, water, and practical structures is not a destination but a living home. Ever-changing, resilient, and quietly generous. Close the back gate, pull a blanket around your knees if the air is cool, and carry with you the calm assurance that a garden shaped around trees and thoughtful layers will give back comfort, beauty, and a sense of belonging for years to come.